Who's the key?
Tango down.
What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be looking at what is potentially going to be the full perks list for Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. Keep in mind this is a leak, so it's by nature not 100% confirmed yet, but these leaks do come from a source that has been accurate about leaks in the past with Call of Duty, so it is a fairly reliable source, and it's very likely these leaks are going to be true. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so this list does come from pieces of the in-game code that were apparently taken from the Demonware servers that were breached a while ago. Apparently, that's where the source says it comes from. So keep in mind, when you're looking at code, sometimes the names within the code won't line up perfectly with the names of the perk in the actual game. So I might call it one thing here, and then it's actually called something differently in the game, but it's likely going to give us at least an indication of what the perks are going to do and how many perks we're going to have in the game, essentially. So first up, we have Power Cell. Now, Power Cell, to me, seems like it's going to be the overcharge of this game. And overcharge basically reduces the amount of time it takes to charge up your power weapon or power ability. And according to the other areas of this leak, it looks like we are going to have specialist-like abilities and power weapons, but probably not specialist characters themselves. So basically, you choose an archetype, or like a type of character, and they get different abilities or power weapons. So it's not necessarily a name of a character, but a different type. And to me, that's what Power Cell is sounding like. It sounds like it's going to be the overcharge of this game. After that, we have Blind Eye, which to me is pretty straightforward. This protects you from AI-controlled streaks. I mean, Blind Eye's been in most of the Call of Duties in the past, so it's probably not going to be changing too much. After that, we have Blast Shield, which is Infinity Ward's version of Flak Jacket traditionally. So no surprise there, good to see that Blast Shield is returning. After that, we have Dexterity. Now, Dexterity could go many ways. Dexterity in the past allows you to like mantle over objects faster and stuff, which I would like to see return for sure. Also, generally it reduces your sprint out time, and it may also be like fast hands in that you can switch your weapons faster. We don't really know. Also throw equipment faster. We don't know how they're going to balance it out exactly, if they're going to take all of those aspects and put it into one perk, or what they're going to do with it. But it is going to be that perk that allows you to do things faster with your hands, it seems like. After that, we have one that worries me a little bit. It's called Boom. To me, this kind of sounds like it might be Danger Close. So essentially boosting the damage of any of your explosives. I don't like the idea of that perk being in the game. I hope that's not what it is. Maybe it just like increases your score streaks or point streaks ability to kill or something like that. I really don't know, but I am a little bit worried to see this. I hope it's not like a Danger Close perk that boosts explosive damage, but it very well might be. After Boom, we have GPS Jammer. Now, the first thing that popped in my head was like Scrambler from Modern Warfare 2, where when you get close to enemies, it scrambles their radar. But then I was thinking UAV Jammer from Call of Duty 4. UAV Jammer is basically like Ghost. It keeps you off the enemy's radar. And I think that's the more likely choice here, especially since there's no other perks within this list that cover that stealth perk. So I think this GPS Jammer is going to be basically Ghost of this game. Again, they could balance this a number of ways. They could have it so it always keeps you off the radar, which traditionally is what Infinity Ward does with their games. Or they could take the Treyarch route and make sure it only works while you're on the move. And if you're camping or sitting still, then it doesn't work and you still appear on the enemy's UAV. I'm not too sure how they're going to end up balancing it, but it does seem like that's going to be the perk that keeps you off the enemy radar. Next up, we have Extra Ammo, and this one, there is also Scavenger in this list, which we'll get to, so I don't think this is going to replenish ammo or anything. I think it's just going to be that perk that lets you start with more ammo at the beginning of your life. So you basically start completely maxed out with all your ammo. And I don't really know if there's a place for that in this game, but then again, we haven't seen the game yet, so I don't know. I feel like it's not really all that useful compared to Scavenger, but then again, some people really like this perk, so it looks like it is returning to this game. After that, we've got Hardline, which we need to know more about whether or not it's going to be score streaks or point streaks or what it's going to be in this game to really say what this is going to do. If they go the score streak route, where any score that you get contributes towards your score streaks, then it's likely going to be either a flat reduction in the number of score or the amount of score that you need to get your score streaks, or preferably, in my mind, a percentage reduction on how much score you need to get. On the other hand, if they end up going with the kill streak or the point streak route with kill streaks, then this is probably going to reduce the number of kills you need or points you need to get your score streak by, or your point streak, sorry, by 1 point or 1 kill. And then also they might end up making it where every time you get 2 assists, it counts as a kill towards your streaks. I think that's how they did it in Modern Warfare 3, and it seemed to work out fairly well with that system, with that point streak system. So again, we really need to know what the kill streak system looks like before we can make a judgment on what this is, but it is likely going to be that perk that allows you to earn streaks easier. Next, we have EMP Immune, which to me is just going to be like partially a hardwired perk from Black Ops 3, but only partially. I don't think this is going to work against any sort of equipment. I think it's only going to work against EMPs as well as counter UAVs. So basically, if an enemy calls an EMP in, then it doesn't affect you at all. Also, if they call a counter UAV in, it doesn't affect your minimap, so you can still see your minimap just fine as if they didn't have a counter UAV. After this, we have a perk that seems to be new, and it's called Melee Kill. Now, this could be one of many things, and I've got a few little ideas of what it could be. First off, I believe it's going to make it a one-hit kill melee for anything. As it is right now, looking at the other areas of this leak, it seems like we're going to have the same melee system or a very similar melee system to Black Ops 3. So 2 hits with the butt of your gun to the front of their body or 1 hit to the back to get a kill. And also it looks like we're going to have fists, which will always be a 2-punch kill. Unless you have this perk. That's how I see this. I think if you put this perk on, it's going to make it so it's always a 1-hit melee. And I think that would be fine. I think if someone's actively using that perk and they're trading off for they're trading a different perk for that perk, I think that's totally fine if they one-hit melee me and want to panic knife me or something, because they're missing out on a different perk. Another thing this could be is potentially Commando from Modern Warfare 2. I really hope that's not the case. I don't think they would be that dumb to put that in this game, where you have crazy lunge range on your melee. I really hope it's not the case. I think it won't be the case, but it is definitely a possibility. And also the final thing is maybe it just allows you to recover faster from each melee. So you can melee people super quickly, and after you melee them, you can melee them again super fast, or melee another enemy super fast. That could also be how this perk potentially works. We really don't know at this point. That's just my speculation. Maybe you guys in the comment section below can let me know what you think this perk could be. It's called Melee Kill. So after that one, we've got Cold-Blooded, which is likely going to behave like Cold-Blooded from all the other Call of Duty games. Keeps you alive from ground-based score streaks, and I think when enemies are controlling streaks, it will also not show up like with the red box on you telling them that you're a target. And also potentially it will remove your name tag if an enemy aims at you. They won't see your name tag appear with red above your head. Next, we've got Scavenger, which is likely going to behave like Scavenger in the past. Probably no different. I hope they go with the Treyarch route, though, where if you get a kill with an explosive, they don't drop a Scavenger pack. That way you can't just, place a Claymore down, and every time your Claymore gets a kill, you just get another free Claymore by going over to their body. I think that's a little bit too overpowered. I think they'll probably end up going the Treyarch route, where explosive kills don't drop those. I hope they go that way, but who knows. After that, we have one called Sprint Fire, which to me is just gung-ho. It allows you to shoot while sprinting. After that, we've got one called Bullet Outline, and to me, this brings back memories of Recon from Modern Warfare 3. Basically, I think the way this is going to work is if you shoot an enemy with your gun while having this perk equipped, and they get behind cover, you'll be able to see them through cover for a brief period of time. It's going to outline their body through cover for a brief period of time. I hope it is a fairly brief period of time and it doesn't last for a super long time. But overall, I think it would be balanced just fine for public matches. It would probably be banned instantly for competitive though, but I think it would potentially work into this perk system if that's how it ends up working. Next, we have a perk called Selective Hearing. Now, this could go a few different ways as well. It seems like it's going to be basically the awareness or the amplify of this game, but I was thinking it might work a little bit different. So instead of the traditional amplifier awareness where it amplifies enemies' footsteps while not amplifying your teammates' footsteps, so it allows you to hear those enemy footsteps better, maybe they're going to change it up a little bit this year due to all the complaints and stuff that people have had with awareness in the past. And what they're going to do is potentially just mute your teammates' footsteps and not mute the enemy's footsteps. Just keep the enemy's footsteps a normal volume if they're not running the dead silence of this game. I think that would be an interesting way to handle it. That way, you know if you hear a footstep, it's going to be an enemy footstep every single time. But you're not able to hear those enemy footsteps from all the way across the map or something like that. I think that'd be an interesting way to balance it. I really don't know though. That's just how I kind of interpret it. It seems like they worded it a little bit different, calling it selective hearing rather than like amplified. Nothing about that name suggests that it's amplifying or increasing the enemy footstep sound at all. But again, I could be wrong. That's just a little bit of speculation, and I think it would be neat if they ended up balancing it that way instead. After that, we have Hard Shell, and to me, this is going to be the tactical mask perk of this game, simply because there's no other perk that seems to suggest tactical mask. So something that counters enemy tacticals like concussions and flashbangs and stuff like that. So I think Hard Shell is going to be the tactical mask of this game. Next, we've got Engineer, which they could go many different routes with Engineer. It's very likely you're going to see enemy equipment through walls, so if they got claymores and stuff set up or whatever they might have in this game, you'll be able to see them through walls. They might do the delayed explosive or delayed triggering part as well. I think Modern Warfare 3's Engineer perk had that, where you could run past a claymore or something and then it wouldn't go off for a couple more seconds. So it very likely could be that. Also, with care packages, it could interact with care packages, so you can re-roll care packages and potentially make like booby traps of the enemy's care packages if you manage to steal it. We don't know. They can go various routes with this, but I think it's safe to assume that at least we will be able to see enemy equipment through walls with Engineer. And finally, we have Quieter, which to me just sounds like dead silence of this game. So overall, one thing to point out is we have 18 perks total. This means if they go with the tiered system, there are 6 perks per tier, and that lines up perfectly with what we've seen in the past with a tiered system. Also, other parts of this same leak seem to suggest they are going to be having somewhat of a tiered system, so we're likely not going to see the Ghost perk system return. Another thing that seems to support this is we don't have that many perks, and like Ghost's perk system had tons and tons of perks in it, and this one doesn't seem to have that many perks, so it seems like, assuming these leaks are correct, this essentially confirms that we are going to have a tiered perk system in Infinite Warfare, rather than the perk system we've seen in Ghosts. So there we have it. That's going to wrap it up for today's video on the perks in Infinite Warfare. Again, keep in mind they're not 100% confirmed, but if they are confirmed, what do you guys think of this perk system so far? Also, are there any perks that you feel like I maybe misjudged and my speculation on them is a little bit wrong? Do you think it's going to be something other than what I described it to be? It very well could be the case. Keep in mind, a lot of the descriptions there, it was just me guessing based on what we've seen in the past with Call of Duty games. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.